welcome into another episode of the Pain and Panic podcast. Adam Sheets, Chris Reynolds, wearing our a walking billboard over there today. Representing the merch. Shout out Chris's mom, Gina, for doing a phenomenal job getting us some sweatshirts. Really
head of
do
merchandise
appreciate it.
right there.
Yep, head of merchandise. If you guys want some, let us know. Maybe we'll expand the shop a little bit. You know?
Hey, if we have interest, we'll happily get some.
Yes, we absolutely will. But, we're here today. It's a great NFL week. Start off with a big game on Thursday night. Usually don't see a lot of these, Chris, but, we had a playoff implication, basically a playoff eliminator game that sadly may have eliminated the Dallas Cowboys, who fall in a kind of exactly how you'd expect this game to go, 44-30. Offense, no defense. Yep, sounds about right between those two teams, and the Lions get the win.
I mean, to be fair to the Lions, I think their defense did a pretty good job. I think towards the end, the Cowboys kind of got some, kept it interesting, but not really that important touchdowns. And also, Brandon Aubrey was just the MVP for the Cowboys. My gosh, he was nailing everything from deep. But the Lions, Jahmyr Gibbs had another game where he just goes nuclear. And Amon-Ra St. Brown played. I thought after last week, they're 1 to 2 weeks if we're lucky. I thought they were done for. We did a whole, looking at the playoff forecast, we said this is a huge game for the playoffs. Amon-Ra's out. How's it going to impact the game? He came back at him. Lions kicked some butt. Now the Lions 8-5. They, we said probably need at least 10, probably 11 wins to make it in the NFC. So this keeps them alive.
Yeah, it definitely keeps them alive. Still going to be tough because you have the two teams in the division they're looking up at right now in Green Bay and Chicago. They do play each other this week. And then, of course, we mentioned the NFC West just loaded 3 9-win teams right now, so it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. But again, at this time every year, there's one team that usually falls off, so maybe one of those teams, whether it be San Francisco, who's on bye this week. Maybe Seattle takes a step back as the season starts to wind down, kind of like Sam Darnold started to slow down last year around this time with Minnesota. Maybe that happens again. But, they're definitely put themselves in position. The Cowboys, who were, chasing the Eagles, does seem like their only chances in Eagles collapse a little bit and them catching the division. The wild card seems maybe out of reach for a team that winning out would only get them to 10 wins.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the wild card race. It's ridiculous. It's probably just for the division. And this is when you just look back at these stupid games that happen. Week 1, CeeDee Lamb has multiple drops to against the Eagles. The Cowboys could have won that game. That stupid Rams-Eagles game with the blocked field goal. The Rams missed 2 field goals, and the Eagles came back huge in the second half. The Cowboys have honestly just had no defense for the first half of the season. I think you're maybe we should have done one of those trades earlier. Maybe not traded Micah. Because, if they had Micah Parsons, they'd probably... I think
they'd be a lot better.
I don't think they'd be that much better.
Defensively, they'd be a lot better.
I think they'd be 1 win better, but with Micah, since they traded him, they did actually kind of, improve somewhat on defensively after they got rid of him. They got some guys in that have helped, but they want to stop the run. They did not stop Jahmyr Gibbs today. So
they never stop. They're not a team that stopped. I know they that Jerry bolsters up about it. That's just not who they are. I'm just checking something quick here.
Also, 2 teams that are amazing at home and on the road. So, kind of makes sense the Lions win at home.
Yeah, so I believe, the Cowboys' leading sack getter is Justin Houston with 4.5 sacks. Micah already at 12.5.
Oh my gosh.
Micah's already. So that would have been nice to have.
Yeah, I mean, that probably wouldn't make a difference today, but.
Not today, but I'm saying, a couple games in there. I mentioned
that Cardinals game, Adam.
Yeah, I texted you. This team, every year, it seems like, in the Dak era, they're one of the best teams in the league at home. And then they go away from AT&T Stadium in Jerry's World, and they're a mess. Today, I won't say that's today. I mean, they scored 30 points, but weren't able to get it done. The defense did not look great. But they're 4-1-1 at home, and their one loss is a 27-17 loss to the Cardinals on Monday night. Of all the games to lose, they beat Kansas City at home. They tied the Packers at home. They beat the Eagles at home.
Knew Jacoby should be the starter. Kyler was supposed to come back. He dominates in Texas, and they were like, "No, we want Jacoby. We're set." And he came in. He won the Cardinals the game.
They never really look great at home either. That was the weird thing. It was a close win against Kansas City, which is a good win. The way they played against the Eagles, you talked about having some not go their way, down 21-0 and coming back to win that game against Philly was big. One that bounced their way. But 40-37 against Russell Wilson and the Giants.
That was not a good one.
That's
on cue. Their defense was the worst I've ever seen. That.
Right on cue. 40-40 tie. Crazy things happen in Jerry's World every year. Maybe we'll blame the glare. Declare. But shout out.
It is a problem.
Yeah, but Jerry got exactly what he wanted though. Last week's Thursday game against Kansas City, most watched game in NFL history. So
I think he wants them relevant, and I guess, that doesn't let them bottom out and, really improve, but it keeps them interesting. And you know what? I have enjoyed watching the Cowboys this year. CeeDee Lamb did get hurt. Mm-hmm. Here's the question now, and I think we're going to see this with some other teams coming soon. If the guys are questionable where they can play, Drake London's kind of having this now with a PCL injury. It's like, do you bother bringing a guy back when the season's over?
We're in
it's
shutdown
probably not
season.
worth it.
We're in shutdown season. So,
however, it does stink as a fan. I know a lot of people play fantasy football. Not that Jerry cares about fantasy football, but if the fans are getting all annoyed, it happens every year. And like the same thing, the Commanders now with Jaden Daniels. He shouldn't play, but it's going to be like, hey, we're going to purposely lose and not play this guy because we want to lose and also don't want to risk him getting hurt. That doesn't sound good that teams are purposely giving up. But
I don't think I don't think you shut someone down that's healthy, but like CD, I think he'll probably come back because it's only a concussion. I think he went to concussion protocol, so it's like you can get him back.
Brain damage doesn't really seem like.
Yeah, but a concussion, once you're out of protocol, that means nowadays the protocol is so extensive that like you're not gonna,
he'll
get
miss
another
next
one.
week probably. But...
Yeah. They do have a long week, which might help them a little bit. Like, we don't know the severity of the concussion. Like, you go into protocol, like, it could just be a minor concussion.
I think if the Eagles lose this week, you probably are going to have to rush, people back.
If they lose to
the Eagles
the Chargers,
win, I would just be like, take your time.
Yeah. Some question about Justin Herbert playing in that game. We'll get to it when we get to it. But, a
lot of these injuries, Adam, where it's like, so-and-so might be able to play. But
everyone's question. It's December in the NFL.
This week, I think Amon-Ra probably rushed back because it was a must-win week. But if the Lions were out of it, don't know if he'd necessarily come back.
Well, I think Jacksonville sent half their team to the ER today. So
they did.
Yeah, they just.
I don't know where their whole receiving core went. It's just Jacoby Myers.
Hey, Brian Thomas Jr.'s back. Parker Washington got hurt though, non-contact to the hip. Don't like it.
Don't like it.
Do not like it. But yeah, so it was a great Thursday night game, so shout out to the Lions. They stay alive, which is big. They're also, they're technically not out of it in the division. Like, they get the Bears again, so they'd be able to beat them. Might need some help with the Packers, but Packers have been up and down at times.
I'm not afraid of the Bears. It's the Packers that you actually have to worry about.
And the tiebreaker goes to Green Bay because they swept
We did a whole breakdown. The Bears have a hard schedule the rest of the way. The Packers kind of have an easier one.
Yeah.
But the Lions do have like a iffy schedule. So we'll see. There's a whole, if you go on ESPN, there's a playoff simulator thing. You go through each week, make your picks. It'll tell you what would happen.
Yeah. Hey, but I'll tell you, there's always the chance. If the Bears and Packers, they play each other twice here down the stretch. If they can split and the Lions beat the Bears, all you need is the Packers to stumble up one more time, I think, and the Lions would steal the division.
What's also ridiculous is 10 times this year we have given up on the Packers, and then they just win, and they're near the top of the division, and we feel the most confident in them. Yet we're like, we did this again after the Panthers, right? It was the Panthers game after the Browns. We're like,
the Browns game, yeah,
that one was bad. But I'm like, we just give up on these teams.
You got to realize the Packers are either the favorites to win the Super Bowl, or you can't believe them. They can't just be a good contender. They're either one or the other. And they have weird the 10-7 Monday night game against Philadelphia. Weird games in Green Bay. It's just maybe that's kind of the variety. You never know what you're getting when the Packers step on the field.
I don't know. This is off topic a little bit, but have we had any snow games yet? I don't think there's been real snow, right?
Where was there? There was snow. I forget where. I feel like we've had it because I remember saying it was really early. It wasn't true snow on the ground, but there were snowflakes.
I'm
in
just
Cleveland,
waiting.
I think, in one of those games. But
one of my favorite things in football is one of those classic blizzard games. Wind's going crazy. There's real snow on the ground. You could barely see the bottom. That last year we had the Josh Allen leaps into the end zone with the Amari Cooper toss back to him. Football in the snow and the cold weather.
Saquon's game.
Saquon's game. It feels right. These moments happen in the snow. It's iconic. Right now I get tell I'm layered up because I'm freezing outside. But I do like watching football in the cold. It doesn't even feel like the same sport as what we watch today. You know what I mean? Half these things today, try going deep. I can't see the ball.
Yeah.
Too much snow. But I'm excited as we get later in the year for that kind of football to come out. And it kind of takes out some teams every year. I feel like the Lions are usually one of those teams. But with their run game, I think they'll be fine. But
Next week, Bills Patriots. Screams snow game.
Yeah.
Screams it. So
I remember, was it 2021 going into 2022? That was like the 40-mile-per-hour wind game, and it was just a terrible mess.
Mac didn't throw the ball.
No one threw the ball.
Yeah,
I think Josh had 4 completions.
Yeah, Mac only had like 2 attempts. They literally did not let him throw the ball, and they won. So that was the year they went 11-5.
The Patriots had, who's that running back? They had some random running back who just like ended up scoring, and then that was a fun time.
I don't think we'll get that game, but I don't think Drake May and Josh Allen, this version of Josh Allen, are playing.
I'm really excited for a really bad weather game. Probably the worst weather game we've had was that Dolphins-Browns game.
Yeah, I don't. What's really the weather look like in Baltimore this week? Weather hasn't been great along the East Coast. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, which screams bad weather game just because of the teams that are playing.
Yeah.
So they scream bad weather. We're gonna get it here coming up.
There's too many indoor games nowadays. Like I kind of like these outdoor games. Like Detroit, I feel like should be an outdoor stadium. Buffalo,
Ford Field is beautiful though.
It is
great.
It is. But I want the weather. Buffalo, I know they're changing it, but like that's iconic. You got to keep that.
Yeah.
Minnesota might actually be too bad, so they kind of need that indoors. Maybe.
Well, they played outdoors the one year when the dome broke, and then they went back to the indoor stadium, which they have one of the best in the league now, too.
Their stadium's so pretty, I don't care.
Yeah.
Just keep it indoors. Vegas, fine, because it's too hot. Green Bay, I think, gets it perfect.
Seattle's got the perfect one. Covers the fans, the field's open.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Seattle doesn't get snow, they just get, like, rain.
Yeah, really bad rain. Really bad rain. Oh, what else I could give you bad weather? Pittsburgh, Cleveland, AFC North, all of them. MetLife, Washington could, depends.
Yeah, I want bad weather football.
Denver can give you a lot of bad weather, so
more fun. But all right, well, we can move on to the rest of this week. Just want to mention that. Also, other breaking news: LeBron James's record. By the time tomorrow, I mean, SportsCenter's posted this 1,000 times.
Enough. They posted it enough.
I know. LeBron's streak is over. Very sad. Honestly, I feel like it's kind of good, though, when these streaks end, because, like, now there's no pressure.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just like, all right, like, it was a nice little thing. But I think, like, LeBron kept it in his mind. Nick Wright once pointed this out. LeBron got injured one game. I think it was against the Hawks. And he had 7 points.
Solomon Hill rolled up on his ankle.
Yeah.
LeBron hit a 3 and then came out.
Yeah, he went on one leg. Gets the ball, hits the 3, and is like, all right, I'm done. Got to my 10 points. And I was like,
for like 4 weeks.
Yeah. And I'm like, he was in so much pain. Like, I'm going to get my 10, and then I'm immediately getting out.
He was going to try to the half, because it was like 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. He was going to give it a go to the half, at least, and then it was going to be done. But, yeah, he got it.
I think a problem, too, is people are going to think, like, oh, LeBron's old or whatever. That doesn't tell the story of what's actually happening. I think he's coming back from an injury. The team is still trying to integrate him in. It's not his team anymore.
Well, he did
doesn't
shoot
revolve
4
through
of
him.
17 today, but
he did not shoot well. But like in his last few games, he's been like barely above 10.
Well, yeah,
but I don't think it's like LeBron is washed or whatever. I think it's that he's coming back from an injury. He's no longer the system, so he's kind of having to pick his moments.
Yeah, Austin Reeves is the system. Been saying it all year. 44 points today. Luka didn't play today, too. So
we can get more basketball on other episodes, but right now, just it's a weird time in the NBA. I feel like there's I think we'll do probably like one big thing, like kind of when there's a lull in the NFL.
Well, if Christmas coming up, so we'll definitely get a basketball in there right before we do football, because football's taking Christmas anyway. But the 21-1, the Thunder potentially could have the greatest record of all time.
It's just funny because I think when the Warriors were doing that, it was like a huge thing. Like you felt.
Are they just the Warriors now?
No, they're better than
win
that.
your first title, and then you're gonna go on and have the best record ever. Who's gonna beat them? Who's the team? Giannis by himself?
I think the only teams that could actually beat the Thunder would have to be just a matchup thing. And I think like the Rockets with their rebounding. I know the Thunder got bigger, but they're still not huge.
The Thunder make it to the finals. They have the best record in the history of the league, and they face a team that's in a long title drought, and the New York Knicks beat them.
I hope Cleveland makes it. I hope Cleveland makes the finals, and then
they can be the Giant Killers.
Yeah.
I was thinking about like long thing. Jalen Brunson leads them back from 3-1, gives a New York, this is for you.
I just think the way you have to beat the Thunder is by just doing something they're not great at.
Yeah.
It just has to be a matchup thing, and I think for them, it's the Pacers were able to play so faster than them that even the Thunder were like, whoa. And then the Rockets, they're slower, but they're so big that
and they can match up and make it tough to guard.
Yeah, because the Thunder aren't that big of a team. So like Chet is tall, but he's not big. It's really only Hartenstein. If anything happens to him, he's their only real big guy. The other Jalen Williams, the bad one, you don't really want him on the court. But in the Thunder, what's scary is like Shea is the offense, like the driving machine. Everyone around them though was someone that could play defense and hit threes and then drive and pass out. Like they all kind of are a similar player. Like they could all like plug in wherever they need to. So even when Jalen Williams misses the first third of the season, doesn't matter. They only lost one game.
Yeah.
First quarter of the season, they lost one game because without their second best player, because everyone else can kind of like fill in and just plug someone else into that role and it works. So I think they're scarier than the Warriors because the Warriors were like very specific players that fit together. Whereas the Thunder are like, you need this one guy and everyone else around him, you have 10 guys that you just plug in and they all kind of work.
Yeah, plus, but they don't have an interim coach coaching the first 20 games and they're undefeated. Luke Walton, baby. That got him 2 jobs in the NBA. So, congrats to Luke Walton for that great run with that 73-9 Warriors team. But, yeah, basketball, it's been weird. NBA Cup coming up. Who's in the Cup finals? Cup, like, running it down here? You got to look it up for me.
Yeah, because I think
Detroit has to be in
pretty
it.
much
they have the
like
best
everyone. I just don't care.
It's just the good teams, basically, right? Because it feels like
it's not, Adam.
It's really not. Well, the Thunder have to be. They've only lost 1 game, so I can't imagine they dropped out.
On the Eastern side, it's Heat versus Magic.
Well, the Heat are good. The Heat are good.
They're not doing pick and rolls. The Magic actually kind of been struggling, but they played well in these Cup games. Then the other team is the Knicks versus the Raptors.
Raptors have played well. So you remember they weren't practicing during the Blue Jays World Series run, and then they started practicing. They got on a heck of a run.
Yeah. So that's in the East, and then on the West, it's the Phoenix Suns.
Win games at well, they were in the same pot as the Jazz, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, and then they're going up against the Thunder.
Thunder had to be. They've only lost 1 total game, so
yeah. And then the other one is the Lakers versus the Spurs.
LeBron cares about that, man.
LeBron all time.
Back to could he first guy to get to 2 as a player? Oh, I don't think anyone was on the Bucks last year. That was on the Lakers in year 1 outside of Darvin Ham.
Yeah, no, Giannis is kind of calf strained. But when Giannis gets traded, we'll do a segment. But we'll cut off with the basketball. We'll go to Adam's Penn State coaching search. Adam, you told me Penn State needs a coach.
Well,
they're going to have a coach. Penn State will have a coach this week before signing day. Adam, where was the emergency pod? I didn't see it.
Well, I'm not the I'm not. I've got a lot of opinions.
Tighten it up, but you got to make it PG for the short that's about to come with this. This is all you.
We are now entering day 54 since Penn State has fired James Franklin. Chris, you would think in 54 days, a person that knew how to do his job would be able to find a coach to be able to fill the void. He's had all this time.
Fire James now so we could get one of the best coaches.
Yeah, get a head start.
Early, get the best coach available.
Get a head start, man. So much for that, right? We're the last team standing. We're the Lone Rangers out here without a coach. We've seen teams fire coaches. I mean, we saw a guy retire, then get the new coach immediately. We saw a coach leave for another job. A guy gets promoted already. Like, everyone else is getting coaches except Penn State. It's been a disaster.
BYU turned us down. BYU's good to know.
Kalani Sitake and Pat Kraft reportedly had a handshake deal about 2 weeks ago, but they didn't get it signed on the dotted line. It got to Monday when he was going to sign, and BYU found out, and Crumble Cookie got involved, and next thing you know, the Kalani Sitake staying at his alma mater. He loved BYU. BYU loves him, so I'm happy for him. It's a great fit. A lot of questions about the fit there with Penn State, too. He hasn't coached outside of the state of Utah since, 2000. That was in Arizona. He's never been on the East Coast, so would have been a weird fit, but, think he stayed in the right spot. They let Brian Hartline and Will Stein go, the 2 coordinators we mentioned, because they don't have enough experience. Will Stein's now the head coach at Kentucky. Brian Hartline's the head coach at South Florida. And, when I said, Brian Hartline, best position coach in the country, wide receivers at Ohio State. Well, Ohio State receivers are already looking to leave. So maybe there was something there. Maybe, Chris Henry Jr. is the number 1 receiver in the country. He could have came to Penn State. But now he's going to go to Oregon. So
I'll phrase it like this, Adam. Penn State, tries getting a coaching advantage by firing the coach early, get a head start. They completely squander the opportunity.
Yes.
Now, who's left? Who could they possibly get? Or they suck with Terry Smith, who I don't think is bad, but
No.
They clearly have not wanted to make him the coach because they've waited all this time without actually naming him it.
The Kalani Satake stuff got so loud. Like, they had been really quiet, and then the Satake stuff got really loud that now everyone knows you're the second option. At the most, you're the second option. You could be like the 10th option. So, but you know you weren't their first choice. Matt Campbell in Penn State, by the time this episode gets posted, he could have accepted the job. He's Penn State's number one guy. He's the head coach at Iowa State. He's led Iowa State to their best stretch in the history of the program. Like, they used to be a bottom feeder program. Now they're extremely respectable. See some of the guys he coached in the NFL now, David Montgomery, Brock Purdy. Like, he's had some really good players come through Iowa State, and he's done a really good job at Iowa State. I think he'd be a great fit at Penn State. This is Pat Kraft's only chance to save his job, basically. I think he's gone after this if they end up. And I think that's the big reason why Terry Smith hasn't got the job. I think he knows if they just promote Terry Smith, he's going to get fired because it makes no sense to fire James Franklin, pay him the money, and then just promote from within. It's weird. But, like, Terry Smith would be the only other guy if they don't hire Matt Campbell or a guy from the NFL, like, let's say an Al Golden, who's the defensive coordinator for the Bengals. He's a Penn State alum. Joe Brady coached at Penn State, but I don't think he's leaving Buffalo. Brian Daboll is, of course, out there. There's been some, talk about there, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I think it's either Matt Campbell or Terry Smith, but they got to get their ducks in a row because Terry Smith's garnering interest from other head coaching positions with UConn and Memphis coming to look at Terry Smith as potentially a head coach. So, there's a chance that Matt Campbell decides tomorrow he's staying at Iowa State, Terry Smith accepts a job elsewhere, and Penn State's really left without no coach, and they've missed signing day, so they're going to have no freshman recruiting class, and it's going to be all transfers when the next coach gets in. And Tony Rojas, Penn State linebacker, made a statement today that 90% of the roster will play for Terry Smith and nobody else. So if they don't hire Terry Smith, 90% of the roster is going elsewhere, according to Tony Rojas. So don't know. That could obviously change if they hire somebody, they get relationships with the guys. You never know. But, yeah, it is a mess, Chris. And Pat Kraft, when he fired James Franklin, said, we're Penn State. We have national championship aspirations. We're going to hold ourselves to a national championship standard. And I'm just going off this. I like Pat Kraft. I think he's done a lot for Penn State, a lot of good behind the scenes. But in this coaching search, I don't think this is how an athletic director or an athletic program with national championship standards to, creates a coaching search and gets a new coach in. So Virginia Tech looks great. Virginia Tech looks great.
Yeah, I think firing James Franklin was the right decision, assuming you could have this head start and get a good, high quality coach to come in and replace him. However, James Franklin left and found a new team before Penn State found a coach. So he's actually just been taking these Penn State recruits. Penn State not going to have a coach by signing day, it looks like. And the current team is upset that James Franklin got fired, and they won't stay unless it's Terry Smith, who I don't think Penn State wants to be the coach.
Nope.
So now, if you get someone from the outside, it's not going to be one of your top choices. The players are going to hate it, which puts you very far back. You're already lost most of your recruits. It's going to take a while to recover from this, Adam. I don't want to, wish that, but this was their, the end of this recruiting class of Drew Aller, Nick Singleton, Katron Allen, Warren already left, and Abdul Carter already left. But now it's like, all right, this was your last chance. The team fell apart. You're going to have to do a little bit of like a rebuild, new quarterback and all that stuff. But you have James Franklin, you had the recruits, you're going to keep the culture. Now you have to completely restart, and you lost everything, but now you're so far behind everyone else. I don't understand how you fire James Franklin without a real plan in place. I thought it was the right move when they did it, but the terrible execution afterwards makes me think I'd rather just have James Franklin.
Even in the execution doesn't even mean that it had to have been James Franklin as the head coach, but if you just waited till the end of the season, maybe some of the recruits stay. You also then behind the scenes working towards potentially who you're going to get before you fire James Franklin. Be like, here's who we can get. So when we fire him, we have the next guy already coming in. It's kind of, off stage right, coming in on stage left, like right in queue, just take and step in and go. But nah, it's been a mess. Hiring Matt Campbell would help that because potentially he brings some of his Iowa State guys over, which will help, kind of fill it in. Maybe you'll just end up with Iowa State and Penn State uniforms, but that would at least be a team to field and what is if you look at it, a very favorable schedule for Penn State next year. They got to play at Michigan. They got to play at Washington. They get USC at home. But outside of that, the non-conference schedule is really easy. And some of the other conference games is kind of as favorable as you'll get in the Big Ten. So there's things there to work. You don't play Oregon, you don't play Indiana, and you don't play Ohio State. So
But do you think that in the next few years they're going to be a championship level team like they have been the last 2-3 years?
A few years, maybe. Next year, championship, I would have to. It would take a miracle to be able to build the team. With losing an entire recruiting class is almost impossible. So
I felt like, and going into this year and all of last year, and maybe a little bit before going into it, you had like real hopes of like getting to the playoffs and maybe winning. I think that's gone for at least a little bit.
Yeah, crazy.
It'll take a while to recover.
It's December of 2025. In January of 2025, Penn State was one drive away from playing for the national championship.
Yeah.
Crazy how fast things go. So
thanks for Penn State. Unfortunately, that's the situation. Really went from happy to sad very quickly.
Well, let's get happy again. Upset picks, baby. Come on now.
Well, Adam, before we get to upset picks, our last bullet, what should you do as a fan?
I can't say that on the air.
Oh, okay.
I put it in the notes.
Know if you want to talk about it.
Chris, right. I can't say that on the air. You want this to be a PG show.
Upset of the week, Adam. I'll let you go first because I always change my mind on this anyways.
This was actually a tough one for me. There's a lot of big spreads where I'm like, I see a cover, but I don't see the team winning. And I think that's boring. I didn't initially see this team winning that I'm going to pick. I wanted to take the Jags over the Colts because, I'm confident. I'm a Jags fan. But the spread's 1.5. And Chris knows I think that's boring. So I would never take a 1.5 point spread. So I'm going to take the Titans to beat the Browns. 4.5 point dogs. I know Shadur's my boy, but I think we get a motivated Cam Ward here. There was all that talk going into the draft. Is it Cam Ward or Shadur Sanders? Turned out it was away Cam Ward, and Shadur was a 5th round pick, but now they're going to play against each other for the first time. Cam Ward, so I think there's a lot of motivation there. I think, he hasn't, really worked out, I think, the way Tennessee hoped. There's a lot of other things going on in Tennessee that isn't Cam Ward, but, that definitely hasn't worked. But the Titans defense can make some plays. Shadur maybe makes some mistakes, and what is his third start? You hang around, and if the Titans are able to hang around, maybe they can pull the upset. So I got the Titans, not low confidence upset pick this week, Chris, but I will be taking the Titans to knock off the Browns.
I can see a cover. I think my concern is Cleveland at home is actually pretty decent, at least defensively. I think Cam Ward might get sacked 30 times.
And the Titans are bad everywhere.
However, I respect it. Adam, you're going to get mad at me because my spread is under 3 points. But this game is ridiculous.
There's not many of them. Like, a lot of them were way high this week.
Yeah.
So.
Well, this spread is honestly blasphemous. It's only 1.5, but how are the Minnesota Vikings favored over the Washington Commanders? Have they seen J.J. McCarthy play as quarterback? It's terrible. He's one of the worst quarterbacks ever in the history of the league. I know he's better than Brosmer from last week, maybe, but J.J. McCarthy is still terrible. And you look at the Commanders, Mariota's been decent. When the team is somewhat healthy with their receivers, they look like a competent offense at times. And Jaden Daniels might play. Even if he doesn't, how can you have the Vikings favored over anyone right now when you have the worst quarterback in the league, I think by far? I don't know what quarterback is worse than J.J. McCarthy right now.
Okay, what quarterbacks have beaten the Bears and the Lions this year?
I don't know. I don't care. But how do you have them? How do you have J.J. McCarthy favored in any game up to this point besides maybe the Titans? I don't get it. I think this is the worst he's looked. And they're playing the Commanders, who are coming off a game where they went to overtime and barely lost to the Broncos. Like, they're not reacting to anything we've seen. And the fact that the Vikings are favored is ridiculous. I know their defense is good. I cannot believe that J.J. McCarthy is going to be favored in any of these games. He is statistically one of the worst quarterbacks we've ever seen. Ever. In the history of the league.
Not ever. There's been a lot worse.
The whole EPA per dropback, he ranks second to dead last.
So you think Nathan Peterman was better than him?
Saying he's had just as good as a career as J.J. McCarthy as
Nathan Peterman played 1 half and threw 5 interceptions.
I think it really is just for people who've qualified with
There you go. There's been a lot worse. There's been a lot worse. Jamarcus Russell.
He's dead last. Jamarcus Russell's dead last. Second is J.J. McCarthy for his expected play.
Ryan Leaf. Ring a bell.
J.J. McCarthy. He's so bad, Adam. He's so bad.
But hey, the Lions could be 9-4 and be right there in the race, but they lost a game to J.J. McCarthy. The Bears could be 10-2, but they lost a game to J.J. McCarthy.
Those games make less and less sense. Here's my theory, is that was before teams knew how bad J.J. McCarthy was, and they were kind of respecting him somewhat. They didn't really know what to expect, and like, JJ's first starting in the NFL. You have no idea how to scout for that.
Wait, so when they respected him, he played better? Then
I think now they know they can just take advantage and how to like realize how bad he is and just fool him. Because I think they were like, all right, like
it's in Minnesota, not an easy place to play.
They let him run. They didn't realize he was that good of a runner, I guess, the Bears, because JJ McCarthy's legs won him game 1.
Minnesota's not an easy place to play. Commanders haven't been good on the road.
Commanders haven't been good at all, but guess what? They've been decent every game. They just lose it. But like they've been playing good teams too. The Commanders have had a very tough schedule.
Well, yeah, that's a second place schedule. That's what the Vikings have played too. So, and a much tougher division.
Guess what? The Vikings are terrible. They're terrible.
They're both terrible. We just said that.
The Commanders, I don't think, are that bad.
Did the Commanders beat the Lions? What was that score?
That was a bad one.
Yeah.
That was a bad one. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But Miami,
did the Commanders
overtime,
beat the Bears?
Broncos overtime, 2 straight overtime games. They've lost to the Cowboys, Chiefs, Seahawks, and Lions. That's like, and the Bears. Like, that's a very tough stretch of games. The Packers, but they beat the Giants. Oh, that was with Daniels, for sure. They beat the Giants. They beat the Raiders. They smacked the Raiders with Mariota.
Chris.
And they beat the Chargers.
Chris.
Yeah.
They beat the Raiders. You're flexing that one?
Yes, they beat Geno Smith, who, as we know, was a great quarterback. Pete Carroll, historically one of the greatest coaches ever. Ashton Genty, a generational talent at running back in the draft, who's been amazing. Max Crosby, one of the best defensive linemen in the league, Adam. That's like 4 studs. And Tom Brady consulting, just creating this offense that's phenomenal to watch.
Okay. I mean, they're both
against JJ McCarthy.
They're both just bad teams. You could have just led with that. You could have just
led. I think there's a 50-50 chance, and I think that's pretty good.
Well, see, now there you go. There is a 50-50. You were acting like there's no way the Commanders possibly lose this game.
The Commanders look good in these losses. The Vikings look terrible. My other option, I really want to pick the Texans over the Chiefs. I love the Texans right now. I'm kind of falling in love with that defense. However, it's an Arrowhead, and I think just every single like fan, but also betting place is going to be like, we're not going to like bet against the Chiefs. We're just not giving you good opportunities against the Chiefs because like to bet on the Chiefs for the betting books, whatever. You get the point. No one wants to pick against Mahomes right now. Mm-hmm. In a must-win game at home Sunday night, so it's prime time. They did this to the Colts, what was it, 2 weeks ago? And, last week they did lose to the Cowboys, though, but that was in Dallas. I don't know. I don't want to pick the Chiefs. I don't know.
You could pick the Texans, but all right.
I would love to, but I really just hate their offense, but I do love their defense.
All right. Hey, I respect it. Just let's not prop up the Commanders here too much. It's just all
I'm they beat the best teams in the league. An all-time great. They took down week 1. Russell Wilson with Malik Neighbors, who's a generational prospect as well.
Yeah. Plus, by the way, just to say what you're talking about, J.J. McCarthy is 2-4 in 6 games. That's not all-time bad. There's been a lot worse.
Adam.
This year, Dylan Gabriel hasn't won a game.
That's the most improbable 2-4 with the worst quarterback I've ever seen. Credit to the rest of that team. Credit to Justin Jefferson for not punching J.J. McCarthy on the sideline because he has ruined all of his value. It's tough.
Not the worst quarterback you've ever seen. So let's
He's
stop
the worst
that.
quarterback I've seen.
Like, you watched DeMarcus Russell? You were alive.
No, I did not.
Exactly.
Back in my days, I used to be like a Saints guy and just a Giants guy. And then as I got older, I've really expanded, but...
All right. Game picks this week, Chris. What do you want to do?
Well, wow. Another Raider. Just an all-time great. For game picks, let's...
Did you just look up who JaMarcus Russell was?
I looked up what teams he played for to see if I ever would have seen him play.
Yeah, he played for the Raiders and never played anywhere else.
I thought he would have played for somewhere else just out of the fact that, like, he was a high pick.
Chris, he's considered the biggest bust in NFL
history. I know, but
history.
Usually even the biggest busts get another team.
Not when you're fat, out of shape, and don't watch film. Not my words. Not my words.
I mean, Johnny Manziel ever get another team?
No.
That's crazy. All right. So for game picks, last week we kind of mixed it up and we drafted back and forth games that we, my 7 games I'm confident in, your 7 games you're confident in, whatever. I actually kind of liked it, Adam. I won last week by 1.
Yeah.
I
I
got
won
lucky.
game picks by 2, by the way.
We're doing this because you destroyed me in game picks this season.
Yeah, I'm up 10 now.
Yeah, that's not
I'm
looking
also
good.
up 11 in upset picks.
So
that's a point system. So
this other format just gives us like a weekly, incentive, a different way to draft things. So anyways, we'll start with this week. We did not get to draft Lions Cowboys, but it probably would have been at the bottom of our draft board anyways.
Yeah.
Did we both have Lions this week?
Yes, we did.
Okay. Let's do our draft, and then when we pick a game, the other person could give their opinion.
Word. You get first pick this week. I had first pick last week.
All right.
And you won.
All right.
So.
Well, I really wish I knew, like, everyone who was playing this week.
That would help.
Last week, we actually kind of got burned because we said we were going to go all favorites, and we ended up having a huge week of upsets. Number 1, give me, though, the Denver Broncos to beat the Las Vegas Raiders. I did just hype them up an incredible amount. Obviously, though, they're terrible.
Do you remember the last time these two teams played?
I honestly don't. What happened?
The Broncos won by 3 on Thursday Night Football. It was 10-7.
Right. That was a terrible game.
Yeah.
But, however... We have the worst offensive line I've seen in years with the Las Vegas Raiders going up against the Denver Broncos. And like that game, I am sure Geno Smith is going to be on the ground the whole entire game.
Geno got hurt in that game. Yes. Yeah.
He
got banged
up. He
up.
got sacked, I think, every other play.
Yeah. And they still only lost by 3.
Listen, the Broncos offense may or may not show up, but that defense always does.
Yeah. Very fair. I'll take the Broncos as well. No disagreement there.
All right.
For me, Chris, I'm staying in that 4 o'clock hour. I'm going to take the Rams over the Cardinals.
They burned you last week, Adam.
They did, but I'm going to ride with them again. No, ride with them. Matty Stafford, don't lose 2 in a row, buddy. You never want to lose 2 in a row, especially with that division. Everyone's on each other's heels, so.
That's the largest spread this week, or tie for the largest spread. Jacoby Brissett, man, makes every game close.
Yeah, but.
And
except,
also, has
he made NFC West games close, though? Because he got blown out by the Niners. Is that his only NFC West game? Did they play? They haven't played the Seahawks again, and that was Kyler the first time.
Not sure.
Yeah, so.
But for your listeners out there, we're not picking against the spread. We're just picking who's going to win outright. Let's see. I'm going to go. Give me the Seahawks against the Falcons.
Good pick. You are taking the Rams, correct?
Oh, yes.
You were kind of flirting around with, like, the Cardinals keep it close. So I was like, oh.
Listen, I actually don't have a lot of confidence in there, but I would pick the Rams. But all right, Seahawks, Falcons. You're also picking the Seahawks, though, I assume. The only way to beat Sam Darnold and the Seahawks is just get pressure on him, and then he's useless. I don't think the Falcons can do that. So,
all right, my next one, low confidence for me in this pick, and I'm picking it high. A lot of games I don't have much confidence in this week, Chris. No, I changed my mind. I have more confidence in this game. Eagles over Chargers. Monday night.
Wow. Do we know Sam Darnold? Or not Sam Darnold. Do we know Justin Herbert? Is Herbert going to play?
Probably.
Okay.
The Eagles can't lose again. Can't lose. In SoFi, when those West Coast Eagles fans get their hands on them, oh, boy. There's not going to be Chargers fans at the game.
I think the Eagles actually need to leave Philly after last game, so.
Yeah. I think... Hey, and remember, one of Saquon's best games last year was in SoFi, so he does have fond memories of that stadium.
That's not fair. Last year, all of Saquon's games were his best games.
Yeah, but hey, I think they're able to get it done. Don't like the Chargers. Every other week, they're weird. Who do you got in that game, Chris?
Yeah, I would just stay away from the Chargers. They scare me, especially the Eagles, too. We have a lot of buys this week, by the way, but anyways, so...
Chris, you taking the Eagles? Like, what do we got there?
Flirting with it.
Take them. Take them. You know you want to. Go with your heart. You're down big. Your heart could win it for you.
I'm going to take the Chargers, assuming Herbert plays. If Herbert doesn't play, I'm picking the Eagles, though. I'm putting
here we go. Flip-flop. Yeah, okay.
That's a big deal who the quarterback is.
Nah. Trey Lance, baby. Hey, if the Eagles said they're kind of playing the script from 2 years ago, they lost a Monday night game on the West Coast to Drew Lock. Is Trey Lance going to get his Drew Lock game?
I think the Cowboys losing takes off a lot of pressure, and also the Jalen Carter might not be playing. So
Jalen Carter's out. Yeah, Jalen Carter's out.
So they're a different team without him. All right. I really just hate this slate of games. There's just so many
good
weird
slate though.
It's either bad teams playing each other or the good teams playing each other.
That means the good teams play each other if all the bad teams are playing
I
each
know,
other.
but then here's the problem for these picks. I'm like, I don't
You
know.
want to get that? What makes it fun?
All right, give me the Bills to beat the Bengals. I don't want to pick against the Bengals, but it's in Buffalo. The Bills are kind of built to beat the Bengals. I feel like after they lost them a few years ago, they were like, the Bengals were able to, just outscore us, and even in the snow, the Bills. Then the Bills were just going to become bigger and tougher and run the ball more, and that's what they do.
I had the Bills as well. I think the Bills get the job done. Long week, though, for the Bengals. Could mean a lot of rest, but Bills look really good in that second half in Pittsburgh. Me, the one I was going to take before I decided to take Eagles-Chargers, give me the Bucks over the Saints.
Wow, that's actually the other one tied for the high spread. I don't like it either. The Bucks look terrible. Yeah, I think their whole team is still coming back from injury, but they don't really look 100%. And the Saints, they're just due for one of these stupid wins.
And
this would be one of the most stupid wins.
They have their stupid win. They beat the Panthers.
No, I don't think that was a stupid win. I think the Panthers just suck every other game.
No, they're 7-6. Panthers are really rooting for the Saints this week. So.
Well, actually, I think the Saints are going to win Week 18 against the Falcons. The Falcons are going to go below them and get a better draft pick. So.
Okay, so are you going to take your boys or are you going to take Tampa?
I'm taking Tampa.
Oh.
I can't
you were
pick
a Saints fan. You're talking up the big win for them. Oh.
I think they're gonna win, but I'm just not picking it. I can't.
Oh, and right. Raymond James with the pirate ship.
Adam, I'm gonna take the Ravens over the Steelers.
Good pick.
The spread is low, and I just think no one knows what to expect from Lamar. He hasn't thrown a touchdown in a month. And he actually didn't practice this week, yesterday. On Wednesday. So we'll see. But I'm just not ever going to take the Steelers, so.
Yeah. Tough one for me here, Chris.
Yeah.
I think this team's going to win. The weather concerns me. Dolphins over Jets.
Adam, what's one of the core rules of football?
I don't trust Tyrod Taylor and Aaron Glenn.
That's a good rule. The other rule is don't pick Miami in cold weather.
Well, hold up. Maybe we're gonna get a warm front coming in.
I live here. It is freezing outside.
You don't live. MetLife Stadium is a beautiful palace and an island. It's sunny there all the time. Come on, Chris.
It ain't.
MetLife Stadium is the Hawaii of the East Coast.
Oh, East Rutherford, New Jersey, the Hawaii of the Northeast.
That's what I've always called it.
I think it's going to be freezing.
It is going to be freezing. But hey, you never know, man. Let's check that daily forecast on Sunday. I will say,
Devon Achane,
high of 41. Warm weather in the East Coast that day.
I think it's below 70 or below 60, the Dolphins' record.
Partly sunny. It's below 45. It's sub 45. So it's still in effect. But it's...
Well, actually, the Jets did have a good win. The Jets are kind of winning some games.
Yeah.
So,
but hey, I think Mother Nature's telling us the Dolphins are going to win this. You know why? Tomorrow, it's going to be really cold, 30 degrees. Then
I'm
Saturday,
not leaving my house tomorrow.
Saturday bumps up to 42, in the 40s on Sunday. Then immediately when the Dolphins go back south, high of 30.
Oh, God.
They want them to win.
I might go with the Dolphins on their plane.
They want them to win. You taking the Jets?
I'm taking the Jets, yeah.
There you go.
For my pick, not a lot of good options left because I feel like most of these games
either good teams and there's one bad on bad. There's one bad on bad. I'm taking the Titans. You like the Browns. Take them.
I know. So I feel like, though, if you take the Titans, though, that's the same as me picking the Browns. So I might as well pick a game.
That's almost all the games in here, though.
No, but I know. But,
except one. There's one we are probably picking the same team. But
I'm picking the Packers.
That's the one.
Yeah. that's the pick you have to make to try to win this game.
Yep.
Packers over Bears. And you had Dolphins over Jets.
Yes, I did. All right. Do I take my boys? Do I take my upset pick? Or do I take my Super Bowl champs? Which is interesting. See, the Jags, as we said earlier, Their entire team just went to the ER. My boy's hurt. My boy Parker Washington is hurt. Hurts my feelings. That sneaky special teams touchdown isn't going to be there. But the Colts haven't won there since like 2014, so I'll take the Jags.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jags over. I'm taking the Colts.
I know you're taking the Colts, so I'll take my win and enjoy.
Why didn't I say that, Adam? I know you assumed so.
When we split, I'm usually right. Maybe it's wrong this week. Chris, there's a chance for you to come back in game picks. There's a lot of differing going on here today.
I know.
The door is open.
All right, for my pick,
you're not taking the Browns. Be honest with yourself.
Here's my thought process. I think we're both going to take the Chiefs.
No, you want to take the Texans.
Take the Chiefs.
You want to take the Texans.
I would love to take the Texans.
They're 7-5. They're hot. The Chiefs struggle against good defenses. That's the best of the best.
It's an Arrowhead, though. I don't like that.
Hey,
if it was in Houston.
They lost to Philly in Arrowhead.
For this pick, just so you don't take them. Actually, no. I'm just gonna pick the Browns. I'm picking the Browns. It's for this segment. It would make more sense for me to pick the Chiefs.
It would. But, it would make a lot more sense.
I just have to go with. I don't want to be the one that has to pick.
Because I am taking the Chiefs here. I will take the Chiefs.
So you're up 10 in game picks, right?
Yes.
I don't have a lot of time left, Adam.
Yeah, so let's see. We differ on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right now. 6 if you take the Texans. 6 if you take the Texans.
Give me the Texans.
Sweet.
Then, if that's the case, I should just take them instead of the Commanders for upset picks, right?
What's the spread?
4.5 or 3.5.
Yeah, that crosses a number. So,
how far behind am I in upset picks?
Only 11 points down, but if you would get that right, that would be a 5-pointer. So if I get it wrong, you're only down 6 with 4 weeks to play.
All right, give me the Texans then.
Yeah, so it does make more sense for you to do
Once again, Adam, I always change my upset pick.
Yeah, well, at least this time you're doing it because the math makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're using your noggin, buddy. I appreciate it. How about this? 2 AFC South teams in the upset picks this week, Titans and Texans.
Listen, I liked the Texans before the season because I liked their defense.
And they started like 0-4.
They got off to a terrible start. They had a really tough schedule to start. And I think just really CJ Stroud doesn't look that good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, retroactively looks a lot tougher. The
Jags
were in there.
Let's see their schedule. I'll look at it. Ready?
Yeah.
Week 1, Rams. That was
tough.
They only scored 9 points.
Mm-hmm.
They ran into the red hot Buccaneers in week 2.
Yeah, red hot 2 weeks into the season. Yeah.
The Bucs started off as the best team in football, Adam. Yeah, they were great.
They weren't the best team. They were just having game-winning drive every week.
Baker was leading the MVP discussion. The Bucs were red hot to start the year.
I'm pretty sure you texted me that entire game. Man, Baker does nothing for 3 quarters, but then just has the game-winning drive.
Yeah. Week 3 was Jacksonville, which...
That was a bad game both ways.
Also, we'll say Woody Marks was not the running back yet. Once they kind of got Woody Marks in there, they kind of started having a run game.
Yeah, they had Nick Chubb.
It was Nick Chubb and who was the other one?
Was Damian Pierce?
No, they actually just didn't use him. Maybe Woody Marks was always the second guy, but yeah. And then let's see, they beat Tennessee. They beat Baltimore by a lot.
Yeah, that was the first Cooper Rush game.
Yeah. Then they lost to Seattle. That's a fine loss. They lost to the Broncos. That's a fine loss. They have 5 losses. The only real ones that I think they could have won in retrospect were Jacksonville and Tampa.
Yeah. Well, they should have beat the Broncos with the way that game was played.
That was Davis Mills. And also, I think the Broncos this year are the team that wins the close games. So I'm not going to But, I mean, they've beaten Tennessee twice. Okay, that means nothing. But they beat Baltimore. Okay, that might mean nothing with,
It was Cooper Rush.
But they beat San Francisco, which was a good game.
That is a good one.
They beat Jacksonville the second time.
They did.
And they beat the Bills and the Colts. Those are both good wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I didn't say they didn't have good wins.
I heard this on, I don't even know what podcast anymore, but they were talking about teams that could actually you'd be afraid of in the playoffs.
Texans are
because
up
their
there.
defense is so good, you could just talk yourself into them having just a game where they dominate defensively and just squeak out a win against anyone.
I'm trying to think of the AFC equivalent, like
The
it wouldn't
NFC
happen.
equivalent?
No, like the AFC equivalent to like a team like the Cowboys, where their defense struggles, but their offense is really good. Like if you run into that defense and they shut you down, and your defense doesn't get a stop, and you're in
Like
trouble.
The Bengals, maybe.
Yeah, but like I don't like the Bengals and Texans wouldn't play in the playoffs because like the Bengals get the 4 seed. And I can't imagine the Texans getting the 5. So
maybe the AFC Championship or something.
yeah, like they could play, but I was like, you're like that team, like the Bills' offense is up and down, so like could the Texans shut them
maybe
down
the Ravens
in a playoff game?
if Lamar's healthy?
Yeah, like the Ravens are that way. Plus, they'd already smacked them. Like CJ and that offense actually looked really good against the Ravens defense when they played.
Yeah.
No, very different Ravens defense, but yeah, like there's like a lot of teams that I think, especially if you ask any quarterback, they'd be like, yeah, I don't want to play that team. Yeah. Their pass defense is really good. Their run defense has some concerns, but overall they're good. So like they're tough.
They did a great job against Jonathan Taylor last week.
Oh yeah, but like they're known for their pass defense. Like, that's what they're known for.
And I just think too, like for the Colts, when you look at the division, they could still win the division. The Colts just if they just stop Jonathan Taylor, that's kind of their whole offense, and everything built off of that.
That's all you gotta do.
And Taylor has had the ability to bust out an 80-yard touchdown randomly, which has saved them a few times. But, if that doesn't happen, it seems like the Colts are running out of magic here. And the Jags, I think, are okay.
Jags find ways to win. Sometimes it makes no sense whatsoever.
What's what would you say is the Jaguars' best unit?
Best unit?
Because I think they kind of just have a bunch of, solid stuff, but they don't excel.
Running back's really good.
Travis Etienne?
Well, Basil Tu's been one of the better running backs. Travis Etienne led the league in rushing through 4 weeks.
I just want to think of Jacksonville and the run game.
Their linebacking unit's actually their best. Foye Oluokun and Devin Lloyd. Devin Lloyd was near the top of the defense player of the year.
In terms of rushing, passing, and then on defense, passing or rushing defense. I'm just trying to think of what Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville's probably more balanced, but
yeah, special teams. One of the best special teams units in the league.
Cam Little, baby.
Elite punter.
Let's see. Did
you see Logan Cook was nominated for Walter Payton Man of the Year?
I did not.
Did you see what came out about Logan Cook this week?
Did not.
A Titans player said that Logan Cook threatened to kill him.
Oh.
In the game. And then this week, of all weeks, Logan Cook gets announced as the Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee.
Did you see the quote with Juwan Johnson?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got punched in an area you don't want to get punched in. Juwan Johnson did. And then, though, in the next game, he was talking smack to who was it? He was playing, I forget they're playing, but then he was talking smack to the players were like, they just did not call him some good words. Like, Juwan Johnson deserved to get punched there.
I'm like, Juwan Jennings. Doing it.
No.
Juwan Johnson's the guy who plays for the Saints?
Adam, I'm so confused because I thought it was Jennings. Oh, no, it was Jennings. I'm sorry.
I'm confusing. Juwan Johnson's like a nice character guy. I was like...
It is Juwan Jennings. Yeah. I'm a Saints fan, so I was thinking of Juwan Johnson. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Juwan Johnson, Penn Stater. Juwan Johnson.
Yeah. So, let's see. Jacksonville's passing offense is
not
towards the middle bottom half.
Yeah.
Their rushing yards per game is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Defensively, rushing yards per game, allowed. Texans are 1.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So Jags allowed the 11th fewest. Oh, that's total yards. Let me go to passing. Sorry. Oh, Adam, they are terrible pass defense.
I know. That's what I told you.
No, I just didn't realize it until I clicked it.
Now, granted, they played with the lead actually a decent amount. So
they allow the fewest rushing yards per game.
Yeah. Told you, the rush defense is good. Linebackers.
Now, double-edged sword there. Maybe they barely allow any rushing yards because the other team is passing on them.
They've also actually had the lead in a lot of the games. That affects it too. Teams don't run the ball when they're down.
So
like the Texans game, they were up 19. So Texans were passing the ball. That happened. The Rams didn't have to. The Rams just did whatever they wanted. Yeah, but a lot of teams they've been up on. Yeah, they have the ability to stop the run. Their defense actually been good overall, and they take the ball away. They haven't in a while, but they take the ball away.
In the beginning of the year, they had the most turnovers and whatever.
Yeah. Special teams though, That's their best unit, special teams. That's not even debatable. Parker Washington's got multiple punt return touchdowns. Cam Little has the longest field goal in NFL history. Logan Cook's one of the better punters in the league.
I just kind of feel bad for Brandon Aubrey because he hasn't gotten the opportunity, but I know it could hit like a 72-yarder.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of guys in the league that could hit.
Like Aubrey, I think would be the one. Like he's just shown the deepest. Like I want to see it.
Yeah, but they
Week
don't want to try it.
Just like take a knee at like your own. What would that be? Your own 45, and just let Aubrey go for like a 72-yarder.
They were gonna give him a chance when they were playing Cleveland a couple years ago. From like 70 plus.
I remember that.
And then they took him off the field.
That was ridiculous. I wanted to see
Mike McCarthy got cold feet.
At the end of like the game, even today, they were like, hey, we're down by 14. There's 10 seconds left. Let's just kick a field goal.
Oh, and I might have one up on you on worst quarterbacks we've ever seen, just thinking about that Cleveland-Dallas game. Deshaun Watson specifically in Cleveland. I remember that Dallas game.
I don't know if I've ever seen a fall off more dramatic than that. Yeah. But like not from age, not from an injury, but like just from
sat out a year, and then he had to sat out another year, and that's what happens to you.
Yeah,
I remember that was just going to be his first full year, but he played week 1. He had like 34 passing yards. Week 1.
Obviously he deserved it, but like, he was one of my like favorite quarterbacks to watch on the Texans. He was so good. That team was terrible, and he was just like carrying them to the playoffs. It's like, this guy's one of the best quarterbacks.
In passing before he had to sit out the year.
Yeah, then things did not go well. So
you know what's weird about the whole Deshaun Watson situation? This is gonna sound weird in retrospect. Like he was always considered a high character guy. Like coming out of college, like he was always considered a high character guy, which is like why this stuff came out. I was like, huh, who would have thought? Of all the guys in the league, Deshaun Watson,
and him and Justin Tucker.
You see, he got activated off to the PUP list, so he might be coming back.
Well, he was actually coaching up Shedeur Sanders, so a good role model for him there.
Yeah. Shedeur gets benched for Deshaun Watson. Dion goes nuts.
Yeah, I don't even know what could happen with Deshaun Watson. I don't think there's any takers, and his contract is so bad.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody. There's always somebody that makes the decision.
There's no fan base wants him either. So, like, what's the draw?
It would be a desperate team, kind of like the Bengals this year that end up with Jake Browning, and they're like, well, this isn't working with this guy who's a clear backup. Is there anyone out there? Oh, maybe Deshaun Watson. Someone will talk themselves into it.
I think if the Dolphins moved off of Tua and wanted to see if Deshaun had anything left, or if the Jets, because they don't have anyone, but...
Oh, the Dolphins would try it.
The Dolphins wanted him. The Dolphins wanted him
in Miami.
Went down.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
I wonder how Carolina fans feel. Because, like, he went to Clemson, which is close. So, like, I wonder if there's any Carolina people that have, like, a soft spot for Deshaun Watson.
I think Bryce is winning over Carolina.
Oh, right now he is, yeah. But I was wondering, like, if fan bases that might try to say, like, Clemson fans, I'm sure still, like, maybe just try to separate, like, what he did versus, like, try to separate everything. They probably still love him. He won him their first national championship in a long time. So
Bryce is tough because I feel like Bryce out of college I really liked, and then he was so bad in the beginning. I think I just wrote him off too early, and now they were saying he's really smart as a quarterback. So
he is.
On his strengths.
Bill O'Brien said he's the smartest quarterback he's ever been around, and he coached Tom Brady.
Yeah, I just think he looks so young. I assume he doesn't know.
Yeah, no pun intended. Have you seen him
with the backpack on?
Yeah, no pun intended. Right? Looks so young.
Is this inappropriate?
You said he looks so young. His name's Bryce Young.
Oh, they're making the Watson thing. I'm like,
no, I was trying to say, nice pun off his last name. I like it.
Like him with the backpack on, just looks like a middle schooler. Pretty funny.
He does look young, but he was really talented at Bama, and he's coming into his own. Now the Panthers have a tough decision to make on because this year they're going to have to decide if they want to pick up his 5th-year option or not. They'll get him next year no matter what, because that's his 4th year, but they got to decide if they want his 5th-year option. I'd probably say no. Let him see the 4th year out, and then either tag him or sign him after the 4th year instead of just taking a mandatory 5th year. So I'm assuming that's what they'll probably do.
I think what kills the team the most is just a bad quarterback contract.
Yeah, so
Cleveland's been stuck there forever. The Giants were there with Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones has earned that contract, but then he's not that good though. So he, that's the thing with the Colts. when Daniel Jones is making a few dollars, it's like, all right, great. But then when you have to pay him, you're like, uh-oh, well, that's too
And then
much
if you
for
have a
our
coaching
team.
change like Jacksonville does now, like Trevor's winning games, so they're not going to move off him now. But like, if Trevor wasn't playing really good, and Liam Cohen seemed upset, like he can't get off that contract. Like Trevor's his guy for a little bit. So
yeah, I think a bad QB contract is just like you're stuck with something for like at least like 4 years.
Plus, it's a coach killer because coaches like you can't change the quarterback, so you got to change the coach. So really tough, really tough. But we should have a fun week coming up. Should be a lot of good games.
Hopefully.
There'll only be one game to watch.
Let's see. What's our most watchable game this week? Would you say it's Packers Bears?
Stylistically, or are we
just
talking?
like in terms of interest with like implications and playoffs and everything?
Well, Jags Colts is obviously big for the AFC South. Packers Bears is big for the NFC North. Texans Chiefs is big for the wild card in the AFC.
Yeah, that's
Bills Bengals is huge as the Bills are trying to chase down the Patriots, and the Bengals need to basically win out.
Texans Chiefs might be like this Lions Cowboys game, like loser leaves town, like losers kind of eliminated from the playoffs.
Yeah, Texans would need help. Chiefs would probably be out. Yeah, Texans could backdoor their way into the division, like Jags and Colts just decide to,
I think the Texans would need to win this week, though.
They do.
Yeah.
Like I said, the only thing would be like if the Jags win, but Danny Dimes' leg ends up being maybe worse than they thought, and then he's out. So then it becomes okay, now we gotta.
Actually, I don't know because the Texans have Colts, Raiders, which should be 2 easier games, and then Chargers, who knows, and then Colts Week 18 at home. They've already beat them, so we'll see.
Yeah, the Texans have a chance. It's a big game for both teams. Eagles Chargers is big too. Chargers trying to stay in that wild card hunt in the AFC, which is loaded right now, and the Eagles just trying to figure something out, not just for their playoff hopes, but just maybe trying to see if they actually have a chance to repeat. So
once the Eagles start losing, I actually love watching them more because it just feels like normal football. When the Eagles play terrible and they win, it's just frustrating. So I like it when they play bad and lose, or if they play great and win. I just rather would like to see.
Ravens Steelers is of course a big game with playoff implications too. AFC North. So
I think if the Steelers win, we're headed to a 8-win division team. If the Ravens beat the Steelers, they could probably get to 9 wins and win the division and eliminate.
Yeah, they're 6-6 now. So if they get to 7-6, you'd think they go 2-2.
Because I think they have to play the Steelers twice, right?
They do get the Steelers again. Yeah, they'll get them in action.
I feel like if the Steelers win, the Steelers probably aren't going to get 2 more after that. So I feel like them and the Ravens would go 8-8 at best, or 8-9 at best, and then the Bengals, if the Bengals can win, get to 8 wins, they could win.
Your game of the week's Bengals Bills. Stylistically, that should be fun.
Oh, that is well. My issue with the Bills is they don't have anyone fun to watch besides Josh Allen and James Cook. But
I was gonna say James Cook's fun to watch.
I like receivers. I've always been a big receiver guy. I love running backs that catch. Like Jahmyr Gibbs is one of my favorite running backs. So when he catches,
I was getting a little confused there. You said you like receivers. The reason you're a Saints fan is a running back, is it not?
Well, it's really that my brother liked the running back.
Heisman Trophy winner. He got his trophy back. So.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I really want to get like some Reggie Bush highlights, back going.
Reggie Bush is really good.
I just wish he was better in the NFL, man. I really wish he was.
Yeah, that happens a lot with elite college running backs.
But like he went to a team won a Super Bowl, so I just don't know what went wrong.
He's a Super Bowl champion. No, they're just shelf life on. He actually didn't get that many touches in college because he split carries with Lendell White, so. Sometimes they just get so many carries in college that they're like kind of worn out when they get to the league. But
I think that's a great what happened.
Yeah,
I don't know. Drew Brees loves doing dump offs to running backs as well. That sounds like a great combination.
Yeah, I can't remember if Reggie got banged up at all, because he really relied on his speed a lot. So that goes away. It was really tough for him. Like he was never.
And then after that, he had this random spurt in Miami with the Dolphins. I remember he was on the Lions and actually kind of started off hot, but kind of
Yeah, he always had some good spurts. He was always a good guy to have in your room, but
I think too, he still looks good. Like current day, he looks like it's not like he looks like all beat up from playing running back. So I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Should be a fun week though. There are a lot of big games, important games this week, and at every hour, too. They actually split it up where there's always at least one game that feels like you need to kind of glue in on. So that's going to be big. Because 1 o'clock, you have, of course, Jags, Colts. You have Ravens, Steelers is a game you have to pay attention to. Bengals, Bills, pay attention to, of course. Then 4 o'clock, you have the Packers and the Bears. And then Sunday night and then Monday night, of course, games that matter as well. So should be fun. I forget, Bengals Bills was supposed to be at 4:25, but they flipped it with the Packers Bears.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, but they flipped it back when the Bengals were struggling and Joe Flacco was the quarterback. So
yeah, I think it's a good slate. I think the times make sense for the most part.
Yep, cannot complain about them. But anything else you want to get to before we get out of here, Christopher?
Nah, I'm tired. Let's go to bed.
Yeah. All right, sounds good. Thank you for listening. Please make sure to check out the socials. Please like the video, subscribe if you can. Really appreciate it. Chris, again, rocking the merch today. We do really appreciate all the supports. For my partner, Chris Reynolds, I'm Adam Sheets. Thank you for listening.